We bought our mountain cabin for peace, not trouble. The nearest town was 30 minutes away, and our closest neighbor was a retired couple who minded their own business. No HOAs, no city drama, just pine trees and quiet, or so we thought. 2 months ago, we had our first run-in with the self-proclaimed Mountain Ridge HOA. Some guy named Stan drove up in a beat-up pickup truck with flashing orange lights duct taped to the roof. He wore a shirt that said "Security" in block letters. He informed us that there was an unofficial HOA for all cabins in the area, and we'd need to pay dues and keep things up to code. We told him politely that no HOA existed here and that we weren't paying a dime. From then on, Stan would idle his truck at the end of our drive or leave handwritten citations on the gate. They were laughable, complaining about our wild grass, unsanctioned fire pit, and even the color of our shutters. We ignored him. Then, at 3 a.m. last Saturday, he escalated. I woke up to the sound of an engine revving and metal groaning. I looked out the window and saw headlights aimed right at our gate. With a loud crack, Stan rammed the gate open with his truck, splintering the posts. He jumped out, screaming something about taking control. I grabbed my phone to call the sheriff. Before I could even dial, my 13-year-old son, Ethan, was already halfway down the stairs, barefoot and furious. Ethan has been taking jiu-jitsu for 4 years, and if there's one thing I've learned, it's that you never underestimate a teenager who knows how to grapple. "Stay inside," I yelled, but Ethan wasn't listening. By the time Stan made it to our porch, Ethan was already in front of him. "Back off," Ethan shouted. Stan sneered. "What are you gonna do, kid?" That was his mistake. Stan lunged forward, and Ethan stepped to the side, hooked his arm, and flipped him straight onto the ground. The sound of the impact echoed through the woods. Before Stan could get up, Ethan wrapped him up in a chokehold he'd learned at class, pinning him flat in the mud. Took less than 10 seconds. When I got to the porch, Stan was face down, wheezing. Ethan was sitting on his back, cool as a cucumber. I called the sheriff, and when the deputies arrived 15 minutes later, they were more impressed than angry. The lead deputy whistled. "This the guy that's been playing fake HOA around here?" "Yup," I said. "Decided to ram our gate." The deputy looked down at Stan, still pinned. "Sir, you're under arrest for destruction of property, impersonating an officer, and trespassing. And frankly, you should be embarrassed a kid took you down that fast." Ethan finally let go. Stan tried to stand up, but the deputy cuffed him before he got his balance. He was still muttering about community standards as they dragged him to the cruiser. After the trucks left, Ethan looked at me, breathing hard. "Dad, I told you jiu-jitsu would come in handy." I hugged him tighter than I ever had. The next morning, I walked down to inspect the damage. The gate was wrecked, but the piece of our mountain cabin felt more solid than ever. As for Stan, he's currently facing charges, and word travels fast up here. Nobody else has come near our driveway since. Sometimes you prepare for trouble in ways you don't even realize. And sometimes the hero you need is the kid you thought was just learning a sport.